Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. I am the Zatzman, and you know what they say, once you go Zatzman, you don't go back, man. Once you go Zatz, you don't go back. Working on a catchphrase. Working on it. Do you want to know the secret to attraction? It's in your polarity. It's polarity. You see, within each of us, there's an energy, a duality, yin and yang, north and south, fire and water, Mario and Wario, the masculine and the feminine. Embracing these energies is the key to unlocking your true essential nature, giving you the power to attract and maintain your relationships. But what is masculine and feminine energy? What is polarity? Does anybody have a whiteboard to explain this?
Polarity is this idea that there's a dance of the masculine and the feminine.
As long as whatever the relationship is, there's a more masculine one and more feminine one, there's gonna be sparks. That's where the electricity comes from.
The masculine energy operates from I think.
Masculine is more the constant. It's the steady, unchanging.
Is focused, is direction, is decisive, competition. Bring out more masculine energy just by being around more masculine men.
The feminine energy, on the other hand, operates predominantly from I feel.
Feminine is everything that's not nailed down. It's the weather, it's the sea, it's the cosmos, it's change.
Sensuality, sensitivity, vulnerability.
It's changing the color of their fingernails regularly, changing what they wear.
Masculine energy is supposed to be like a rock. Feminine energy is orbiting the masculine.
And the riverbanks are the masculine, but the water is the feminine. The water's flowing, the riverbanks are more still.
The masculine comes up like this, it's then changing the orbit, and then it causes the feminine to go into this crazy orbit.
What is the masculine? The masculine's like a picture frame. The feminine's the art, it's the expression. Okay, wouldn't you rather look at her more than me? But the water is the feminine, the water's flowing.
So the quote says, women are like cats and tend to roam free and come and go as they please.
Yeah, we're talking about weird dating advice today. Fun. I want to discuss the concept of masculine and feminine polarity because this was the first idea I encountered when I dove into the realm of dating advice. For context, I was a late bloomer to the dating scene, much like many other areas in life. I didn't have friends in elementary because of bullying, I didn't make friends until high school, and was too shy to talk to girls until college. But eventually, I built up my social skills and became comfortable socializing and befriending anyone. Dating remained a mystery to me, however, as I didn't know how to get into any kind of romantic or sexual relationship. And this became readily apparent when one of my friends said to me, Zatzman, you really don't come off as a sexual threat. Which, brazen. They later explained to me that when they saw me talking to girls, I didn't give off what they called a man-to-woman intent, and that I lacked masculine polarity, which was, confusing. I'm a man. I'm a man. I'm a man. What am I doing wrong? Why am I talking like this? All the guys I knew who were in relationships or had healthy dating lives came across as normal, friendly people. And admittedly, sometimes they appeared a bit effeminate from my perspective. Yet this didn't hinder them from being seen as attractive, making the concept of polarity even more baffling to me. Don't tell me it's about looks, because A, normal dudes in relationships, and B, I get comments all the time like, oh, you're so fun, why don't you have a girlfriend? Or drunk girls would yell at me that I'm hot. Still, no maidens. What's a fella to do in this situation? So you search online for advice to cure your dating woes, only to discover that the only thing worse than the world of modern dating is the world of modern dating advice. It's a mess, but also really funny. Sleeping with women is easy. The #1 secret to sexual attraction and polarity. 3 traits for achieving masculine polarity as a man. Do this now. Warning, super alpha male, most powerful alpha male program, 80 Hertz alpha. Officially on my 3rd week. So far I've noticed the changes, although it feels subtle in myself. The reactions I'm getting from people is so much different. Especially women, they feel so much more relaxed and talkative in my presence. I speak with a deeper, more confident tone. Going to try and hit 8 hours daily. Masculine and feminine polarity is pretty straightforward. There are a bunch of traits associated with the masculine and the feminine, and people who embody specific traits will attract those on the other ends of the energy pole. These energies are all within us. So if you have more of this directional, logical, cognitive, grounded, be a picture frame, masculine energy, you'll attract someone who has more of a free-spirited, caring, soft, flowing, fa-la-la-la-la, cosmic storm, feminine energy. If you are unable to attract or maintain attraction, it's because your inner energies are out of balance, or could be in conflict with the other person's energy. So if you want to tap into that masculine energy, do things like Hang out with the boys.
You can bring out more masculine energy just by being around more masculine men. Just being around other men or playing sports or going to the gym, it brings out more of that masculine energy.
Lift some weights. Go to the gym.
One thing that really helped me was martial arts.
Do martial arts and kung fu.
Might be times for me where I'm more in a feminine mode. Maybe I'm spending too much time, watching romantic movies or more sensitive or whatever it is.
Watch some romantic comedies with the boys. Watch The Notebook with the boys. If you want to tap into that feminine energy, do this.
The female form has curves to it, doesn't it? So there's more circular motion to that form. And studies show that even just doing circular motions like this increase your feminine energy.
Movement, flowing. I'm flowing. The movement.
It moves you into that more softer space, that more fluid space. Try it out, because it really does shift you from a masculine feeling into a feminine feeling.
Once you recharge that masculine or feminine essence to a healthy 80-20 Pareto potato principle, you can generate that sexual polarity with other people, because we're all made out of magnets, baby. Vegeta, what does the Scudder say about their polarity?
80% masculine energy.
So on the surface, this seems like a harmless idea. Here are a bunch of traits typically associated with being masculine and feminine, and you should strive for a balance between them to become a more well-rounded and attractive human being. That's something a normal person might say, right? Right? Immediately, we run into a few problems, a few provisos, a few quid pro quos. I'm using that right. The astute among you might be asking, why are these qualities associated with masculinity and femininity? What does it mean to have these qualities associated with masculinity and femininity? Can they be separated? Features like determination, creativity, expressing emotion, being strategic, wanting to feel love, being grounded, deep breathing, are by themselves neutral and can be applied to anyone regardless of personal identity. There's nothing inherently masculine or feminine about any of them, and it seems like they've been assigned to arbitrary gendered archetypes based on whoever is doing the assigning. Go ahead and choose which ones to combine, because fusing these traits together is easy. You can be decisive and intentional with expressing your emotion or creativity. You can be leading with your movement. If deep breathing relaxes you, which part of the energy spectrum is that? The feminine relaxes, but I can feel very masculine when I'm chilling out in my dude energy with what's supposed to be a divine feminine trait. Go to sleep at night. Feminine energy. Wake up. Masculine energy. I'm on my mission. I'm so woke. Oh no, this is the feminine energy emasculating society. Magazine covers offend me. I need to tell everyone how magazine covers offend me. I'm on my mission. Masculine energy. This even applies to the wounded part. You can lack trust because you feel unworthy. You can be both indecisive and controlling. You can experience all these wounded traits simultaneously. They constantly make references to how dancing and movement are a part of feminine energy. But counterpoint. This is the most masculine thing I have ever seen. Sometimes you don't have that intensely focused drive for reasons out of your control. Lack of sleep, work-life balance wearing you down, executive dysfunction. You're not lacking in your masculine energy. You might be neurodivergent, and that's okay. The biggest giveaway is that these guru coaches will say things like,
masculine and feminine energy have nothing to do with gender. Men and women, we have both masculine and feminine energy.
When we talk about masculine and feminine, we're not talking about this is what guys do, this is what girls do.
It has nothing to do with sexual orientation, with gender, with roles.
it's not about gender. We all have these energies inside of us. Don't worry about it. And then later in the video, they use gender roles.
Men, how they grow. It's very different than how women grow. Men grow through challenge. Feminine energy grows through praise. Okay, remember, change her mood, not her mind.
Giving, providing is masculine energy. Receptivity is feminine energy.
That's the thing about the feminine. The feminine, as I said, is everything that's not nailed down. It's changing the color of their fingernails regularly, changing what they wear. You know, we guys, we can get up and wear the same shirt every day for a week, and we think that looks great. I don't know any woman on the planet that can wear the same outfit twice in the same month.
While also sometimes conflating sex and gender through poorly articulated scientific claims.
And now, this is where neuroscience comes in. Your brain is two hemispheres, right? Left and right.
Masculine energy operates out of logic. It's more left side of your brain.
It's much more logic, reasoning, decisiveness.
Now, if you look at feminine energy, it operates from the creative side of your brain, which is the right side of your brain.
The right side is the creativity, is, where all the arts are. Okay, those centers light up.
And we're going to respond to that woman being nice to us, because that feels good to our male brain and male nervous systems. It's just the opposite on the feminine nervous system. The feminine is a personification of drama.
Silly women in their brains loving drama. Me man brain, me smart. If you're on a date with someone and they start talking about how the feminine nervous system is the personification of drama, that might be a red flag. Hey, if that man brain is so logical, do you have any evidence to support your claims? Oh, let's look at your cited sources. There's nothing. Another big red flag is when people bring up neuroscience with zero references. I didn't want to get into the science because none of these videos do. When you dive into the studies, you end up in the crossfire of the long-standing nature versus nurture debate, which makes the objective science part pretty heckin' complicated. I'm not doing that much research for people scribbling a bunch of random words on whiteboards. I'm on my mission. Not that it should matter because we're talking about energy, but it's interesting how every single video overlooks the sociological and cultural factors that contribute to these traits being seen as masculine or feminine, assuming that, well, that's just the way it is. The common thread with all this dating content is that they typically fell into two categories. New age, spirituality, woo-woo, which you get pretty out there. The masculine energy is the redness of the earth and the goldness of the sun. He is hard, hot, and shines poignantly and brightly. The feminine energy is the cool, misty air that flows from the shadowy side of a silver moon. In hidden stillness, she cradles the magic of godly creation. As vulnerability opens the door to intimacy, their love explodes into a grand proportion. And appealing to traditional gender roles or an underlying conservative worldview seeps through into the dating device. It creates an interesting phenomenon where notions of masculinity and femininity are these divine ideal forms beyond us, much like Plato would envision, and yet somehow also innate, with these traits being emblematic of our true nature. And the more in tune we are with that true nature, the more attractive we can be. Woo. They'll sometimes frame it as being yin and yang.
Neither of them is greater nor weaker than the other, and both can be extremely powerful when fully manifested.
Oh, don't worry. These are separate but equal energies. But then subtly give the game away when they describe women being in their masculine as undesirable, or men being in their feminine as,
There's this idea out there that in order for a man to be balanced, he needs to get in touch with his feminine side. I think this is bullshit. I don't think any man is going to become a better man by becoming more womanly.
If you are feminine, you will never dominate a woman. She will dominate you. Because if you are feminine,
she has to be masculine. There has to be this polarity, which means that if you are feminine, she will be in charge. You'll be like a little boy that she's looking after. You'll never dominate her like some other guy may have.
We may as well give that dickhead with low testosterone a voice, and he's gonna shout about feminism and stuff, and he's gonna say that masculinity is bad, and he's gonna say that Andrew Tate is toxic.
Andrew Tate is toxic.
Yeah, men are better in their masculine, ditto with women in their feminine. But as I just said, they conveniently cut out the middleman, or the middle energy, of any sociological or cultural factors that contribute to these characteristics being associated with masculinity or femininity, reinforcing certain stereotypes that can be harmful to both men and women, or people in general.
Now, men tend to be in one focus all the time. That's the way our brains function.
Oh my God, it's Tony Robbins.
Our power is our ability to let go of everything except what we focus on. A woman's power is that she can feel everything simultaneously. A woman can be here talking to this woman and she's hearing both of their conversations going on and the child in the back, and can tell by the tone of voice of the child what they're doing, or they're getting into monkey business or not. And a part of her is thinking about the checklist she needs to do over here, and she's having empathy for the woman in front of her. Guys are like, you're crazy, there's no possibility.
Tony is right on the money here. You see, at birth, women are bitten by a radioactive spider, which gives them their feminine spidey sense echolocation superpower that allows them to be in touch with the force. Us men, we didn't get bitten by the spider, so things like empathy and emotional understanding are just so, I don't get it, I don't understand, Can you explain it using football?
One thing you should all know, women need a reason to have sex. Men just need a place.
So this perpetuates the idea that men want sex all the time. We see a woman and go, unga bunga, you so sexy. I hate to break the news to you, Tony, but women like sex too and can be just as horny unga bunga as men. They might not show it because we live in a society that shames them for being open about sexual behavior. And also the reality of being a woman.
Because for a woman, gentlemen, you might want to jot down, these are the 3 biggies. She feels seen, she feels safe, and she feels understood.
Meanwhile, women just need to be seen and comforted. But you know, sometimes men need comfort too. If I'm stressed, tired, anxious, or depressed, sex is the furthest thing on my mind. Unga bunga, me wants a nap. I think everyone wants to feel safe, seen, and understood. Encouraging men to become more in touch with their emotional empathy is a good thing, obviously, and y'all should read bell hooks. But this line of thinking that men with their masculine energy are rooted in linear logical dominance, while the feminine is rooted in feelings and emotions, contributes to the notion that it's unnatural for men to be in touch with their emotions, and not because cultural forces dissuade them from doing so. Are women more inclined to show and share their feelings because they require a level of emotional intelligence in order to navigate through the world, dealing with men, dealing with how they are perceived? And do those societal expectations encourage women to open up emotionally, letting them form deeper intimate connections with those around them? Or alternatively, hear me out, it's the energy. What am I pointing to? Gee, I wonder if there's some kind of overarching system that places these gendered expectations on everyone and we should be trying to smash it. It's so bizarre how certain characteristics can be framed positively or negatively depending if they're seen as masculine or feminine. There's the catch-22 for women. Say for example, they're trying to make a point. If they speak politely from a more feminine place, their point might not come across and they might not be heard. Whereas if they speak with power and assertiveness, they'll be dismissed as being overly emotional or shrew, or too masculine. Ditto for men. Crying or showing any sort of emotional vulnerability is seen as weak, so men become encouraged to suppress their emotions to maintain this facade of rational, stoic man. I am sad inside. Frustration and anger are emotions that everyone experiences, but they get conveniently left out of the feelings category when experienced by someone with masculine energy, because the masculine is just too damn logical. But if someone with feminine energy experiences them, they are in their masculine. What? What? One of the coaches uses the example of a Zumba class activating feminine energy.
Zumba classes, it's interesting. You go to the gym, and who's in those types of classes? Who's in the aerobics room doing classes together? Who's in the Zumba classes? It's 90% women. Where in the weight room, it's 90% men, because the weight room is all about, can I get 10 reps in? Can I achieve this goal? Which is very masculine. The aerobics room is all about connection. You're doing the moves together. We are in sync. We are in motion. We're all doing this together. It ignites the feminine energy because that in sync coordination is a deep level of connection.
Is the weight room majority men because of masculine, goal-driven energy, while Zumba classes ignite the feminine movement energy? Or are there gender-specific deterrents that push women towards those spaces? The layout of the gym, being intimidated if there are a lot of sweaty dudes working out, dealing with potential harassment, and the general environment. This isn't the case in every gym. What's interesting about this example is that there are many typical gym bros who embody traditional notions of masculinity, but are also very emotionally supportive and friendly to those around them, creating a healthy gym culture through these so-called feminine qualities. The point being is that there are very real and tangible reasons that explain our social dynamics that go well beyond, oh, that's just the energy, man. That's just the way men and women are supposed to be. Okay, look, I'm not expecting a detailed analysis or deconstruction of what it means to be masculine and feminine. My video meant to give you some simple, straightforward guidance for your love life, but time after time, this underlying conservative worldview would emerge, which distorts how the advice comes across. It's not subtle when the dating ebook linked is dedicated to the American soldier, or the dating expert advocates submitting to God.
If we look at it from 3 layers, there is the layer 1, woman and man submit to each other. Layer 2 is the woman submitting to the man. And that layer 2 is more so like recognizing him as head of household. And again, it's important that you understand, if you are with the person that you know God wants you to be with, then you trust God enough to say, all right, if you're saying this is the God for me, then I can give him that submission, okay? which is why the third layer of this is the man submitting to God.
There are layers. It's equal, they're just layers. It's the layers. That's how they layer. It's even less subtle when they come out of nowhere with their reactionary digs at feminism.
As society has progressed and feminism has infiltrated our society,
Or the rest of their content looks like a dollar store version of the quartering, the 25-cent store. A lot of it goes like this.
Men are awesome.
Yeah, that seems
Feminist
reasonable.
agenda
Ah, god
of all
damn it.
genders.
We're being so feminized by culture, movies, Hollywood. We're being emasculated right in front of the entire world. We're being told we're toxic masculinity. We're living in a culture, mister. Women need more rights and all this other poppycock.
Okay, yeah, sure, dude. We're all being emasculated, and you just described it as poppycock. I do declare on this yesteryear that this woke culture hath maketh me feel supercalifragilisticexpialidocious, even though the sound of it is something quite atrocious. All this talk about how the masculine is direct and purposeful, these alpha people sure do love to ramble on for long stretches of time. Why is it that the facts don't care about your feelings crowd end up spouting nothing but their feelings with concepts like masculine and feminine energy? I wonder why. Through this lens, basic tips like don't be too needy, take some initiative, be grounded, and people like feeling safe and secure in their relationships becomes, oh, your feminine energy is wounded and requires healing in order to submit to a masculine partner who can provide you with containment. Otherwise, there won't be the spark of polarity when the redness of the moon shifts into the sky like a big pizza pie. That's amore. Language is important. Wouldn't it be weird if I said, as the viewer, you have to submit to my YouTube will. When you submit to my leadership, it actually gives you the freedom to enjoy my content. Do you feel comfortable in my containment? If so, hit the notification bell, like and subscribe. Don't worry, it's equal because we submit to each other. When you submit to me, who then submits to God, the algorithm. My main issue with dating advice and the topic of attraction is that while there are helpful principles that can improve your dating skills and overall attractiveness, they are ubiquitous. You can get them from anywhere. But what happens is that this then is mixed with weird, irrelevant bullshit or sexist content. I'm spinning around. It's like a kernel of truth wrapped in misogyny. Take this video, masculine men keep women feminine. The central idea Corey presents is don't give off a needy, insecure vibe, which is fine, but then he keeps talking.
So I got a quote that I wrote. Women are like cats and tend to roam free and come and go as they please. Men who don't understand this try to force, manipulate, and use logic and reason to influence women to behave more like they want them to. This has the opposite effect on women and drives them away, much like trying to pick up a cat that no longer wants to be petted. Your interest in women has no effect on their attraction towards you. How you make them feel about you is the only thing that matters to influence their attraction to you. The right ones will stay and the wrong ones will stray.
Women are like cats. They come and go as they please. If you tell them that on a date, they'll definitely hiss at you and then go as they please. Don't worry, you can still get her back to your place using that leading masculine energy by pulling out a laser pointer and distracting her long enough. Once she's there, make sure you have one of those cat towers installed in case she gets bored with your charming personality.
Cat comes over, hops in your lap, and you're petting it. And then after a while, the cat kind of, likes being petted, but if anybody's been around cats, that's kind of their nature. And they get up and they leave and they go roam somewhere else. Yeah, I know women are like cats and they kind of come and go. And instead of just being totally cool and indifferent, he goes chasing after the cat. Causes the cat to feel like this dude is weird. Whereas if you just let the cat go, half hour later, whenever, the cat's gonna come back over and hop up in his lap. Is allowing the cat to come and go as he pleases.
I think he wants to date his cats. Or maybe he's been tricked by cats in the past. Talk about getting catfished.
So let's say she gets mad at you for something, but you stay solid and grounded and you show up anyways in the midst of her anger. That can turn her on, that can make her happy. You get in a fight and what does it do? She doesn't talk to you for a week. What's the difference? Because you fought from your head, you didn't fight from your emotion, you didn't ground her out. That's the difference. Just to show you guys a little polarity. So, just go ahead and do it. Yeah, I'll sit close up. A couple times. If I'm the solid picture frame, she feels I'm not breaking. and I stay solid without losing control, without losing my mind, without yelling and screaming back, that causes her to relax more in the end. But the water is the feminine, the water's flowing because her man is being solid. Hit me one more time. So do it one more time. And so now I step into it right here. Do you guys feel the polarity difference?
Okay, this is for the boys. Okay, fellas, if your girl gets mad at you and starts throwing haymakers, this is the move, all right? Do this.
Oh my God.
Polarity.
I don't believe it's that hard to get women in bed. I found that out without ever trying to get a woman into bed. There's a direct inverse relationship to the amount of time a man spends listening to a woman talk about her problems and the likelihood she's going to have sex with them. So if they start digging into all their problems and you sit and listen, and reflect back and do all that stuff, you become their fucking girlfriend. And most women don't want to get naked with their girlfriend.
I could not agree more with that statement. I basically just tell my girlfriend, is this a time that you just need to vent? Or is there something you'd like me to help you with to solve a problem?
That's actually a really good strategy. And I'll add to that, and if she just wants to vent, no, I just want to complain or I just want to be upset. Say, okay, do you want me to be your boyfriend or your girlfriend?
Oh, that's cool.
Of course,
That's cool.
I want you to be your boyfriend. They know the girl version is to go into every little detail. And I know why she did that. She did that because she's so friggin' insecure and she just needs attention all the time. And so when this is going on, she just had to do that. Why are you looking for shit to feel bad about? But that's the feminine, right? And her brain still goes and looks for things to be upset about. It is just the way that it is. The feminine is the personification of drama.
Take it from 3 guys with experience, lots of experience.
That have listened to women go on and on and on.
Oh my God, I can't understand the complexities of the woman brain. It's so different. It's so different. There's a lot of antagonistic framing here instead of cooperation. It's a difference between saying, have some empathy and emotional intelligence, versus change her mood, not her mind. Almost like they're projecting the kinds of people they're willing to date rather than this being indicative of all women's behavior in general.
I dated a woman for a couple of years, long after my second marriage, and still some of my nice guy anxiety traits would come in. She'd be in a little bit of a pissy mood. I said, what's wrong? What's wrong? And she'd say, listen, there's only room for one girl in this relationship, and that's me. Just man up. It's not about you.
Like if a woman told me to man up, alarm bells would be going off.
So this is like in the first few weeks of us dating each other. We're going to sit down and have a bite to eat and just, it's a date. And she'd just come in and be complaining. I took out my phone, opened up the timer, set a timer for 5 minutes, put it on the bar, and said, we're on a date. You got 5 minutes of my undivided attention. Give it all to me. Unload it all. She couldn't go 5 minutes. And then she'd get done, she'd get it out, and then she would thank me. She'd say, thank you. I didn't want to be in a bad mood all night either.
You know what's really attractive? False time constraints. Hey Rob, I had a really tough day at work today. My coworkers were being really annoying, and my boss was just hammering me with, is that a scoreboard above your head? Oh my God, Rob, I'm melting.
You're going on a date and she's got her phone out while you're driving to wherever you're going and she's on her phone. I would ask women that did that. I said, is your child with a babysitter? And they go, I don't have a kid. And I go, then put your phone away. We're on a date. Not in a controlling asshole kind of way. I might play that makes them feel like, oh, yeah, we are on a date. That's still just that masculine leadership of creating that container and providing that loving leadership to let them be feminine, but not do it in a way that feminine noise starts taking over everything. The feminine will not create structure and order. That's the masculine job, to create the structure and order that lets the feminine get spun and feel beautiful and want to get naked.
Your job as the man is to be the leader, and sometimes being a leader means that you need to make tough decisions, like cutting her off from her nonsense.
It's not about control, it's about cutting women off from their nonsense. This is the second time in a few weeks that I've heard about taking away the phone. At worst, this is shitty controlling behavior. At best, this is a self-report that Robert has 0 riz and should not be taken seriously as a dating coach. The central message seems to be, don't be a pushover and lead. And guess what? Whether or not she talks a lot or is on her phone a bit has no bearing whether or not she finds you attractive or sees you as the masculine leader dude. If I had to fancy a guess, it's probably the mindset of cutting women off from their nonsense or women brain. That's probably tripping you up. But what do I know? It sounds like you're getting annoyed, irritated, or flustered at the thought of hearing a woman talk. So why don't you change your mood, not your mind, in order to get out of that feminine energy? Can you imagine the conversations later in life? Hey, so what was the moment that you knew your husband was the right person for you? Well, we were on a second date, and I was just yammering on and on and on about things I cared about, and then he pulled out a stopwatch. And that's when I knew. Sweetheart, you're bothering the man. Oh, you.
Remember that a masculine man wants a feminine woman, not a business partner, not a roommate, a submissive, vulnerable, feminine woman.
How do these people think relationships function? What do you want someone who could be your partner and lift each other up? The irony of describing adult relationships in terms of domination and submission is that this simplicity is naive and childish. Here we go, let me shatter your worldview using silly logic. If you're so masculine, then you should be able to submit to the feminine energy, because if you can't, that's a sign of weakness. Are you not man enough to become more feminine? Whatever that means.
I'll remind you that you have to become the type of woman that loves to receive masculine leadership and provision. You love expressing your feelings vulnerably. This one's super important because it allows you to provide him the feedback that he needs to lead best.
What if those feelings involve not being cool with their leadership? Hey babe, I've been looking at some of our investments, and I don't think putting our life savings into a Donald Trump NFT collection is the best move. It's okay, you don't get it, alright? It's the future, Web 3.0, line go up guaranteed, returns to the moon, Elon Musk, Dogecoin, Cybertruck. Look, babe, look, if I'm gonna be perfectly honest and vulnerable here, I'm kind of concerned that we won't have enough money, you know, to live. Again with the stopwatch. That really bothers me. That's because you're in your masculine and I'm in my masculine, and you have to be in your feminine, otherwise the polarity dynamics won't work out. So you have to submit to my masculine energy, because the divine feminine energy within you, I'm leaving you. From a masculine, manly man like myself. Wow. Women are like cats. They come and go as they please. What do I do now, Corey? Buy my ebook. I don't have any cash. Do you accept JPEGs? So did learning about polarity help me in my dating life? If I'm gonna be honest, not really. I could do a whole video about being a late bloomer, but it all stemmed from many internalized beliefs and negative experiences from my youth that gave me a poor self-image, seeing myself as unattractive. This reflected in my behavior, so even if someone was attracted to me, I wouldn't know or believe it even if they showed me. I think we've all had that moment looking back and realizing someone was into you, but you didn't pick up on it until years later you look back and realize, it wasn't necessarily a lack of masculine energy that held me back, but rather a discomfort with putting myself out there and expressing interest in a healthy way. I didn't think anybody found me attractive. This changed when I started taking action and adopting better mindsets. Through the process of opening up conversations in appropriate settings, recognizing interests, setting up and going on dates, and being grounded in the idea that I'll be fine whether they like me or not, I was able to unravel my previous perspectives and have more positive experiences, which were things I wasn't doing prior to the "oh, you don't come off as a sexual threat" comment. Didn't happen overnight, and some old beliefs and self-image issues would still crop up from time to time. However, by working on both actions and mindsets, I found the right vibe for myself. But what I want to emphasize is that even prior to developing this change, people still found me attractive, even when I wasn't on my mission. And that's because attraction is subjective and based on so many different factors. Everyone is into everything. Even if you buy into the whole notion of masculine and feminine energy, you can adopt different energies at different times and it'll have no bearing on your level of attractiveness. Regular couples or people with healthy love lives are a testament to that, because there's so much more to having a successful relationship than having polarity. If you get too caught up in thinking about what's masculine or feminine or what's attractive, you risk losing sight of the fact that having a wide spectrum of traits can make you a more well-rounded and attractive person. Empathy and emotional intelligence, for example, feels more masculine to me because I like having dude energy in general, but there's nothing exclusively masculine or feminine about any human characteristic. It's all socially constructed, like gender and whatever. Stop compartmentalizing the human experience and just find the right vibe for you. I call it dude energy because that's just how I feel. It's a feeling. Is this masculinity? Is this masculinity? I don't know. That's a bicep. Is this masculinity?
Yo, what's going on? Jason Capital here. Got a quick message I'm going to shoot into your brain right now. I want to talk about focus, okay? There's a saying, it's called where your focus goes, your energy flows. One more time. Where your focus goes, your energy flows. I think it's called the rhyme constant bias. Basically, it's when something rhymes, you actually have a tendency to believe it's truth. Where your focus goes, your energy flows. Where your focus goes, your energy will flow.
Where does your focus go?
Where your focus goes, your energy flows.
Jason, where does it go?
Where your focus goes, your energy flows.
What happens? Does it flow?
You just change your focus and then your energy flows that way. Think of O.J. Simpson and if the glove don't fit, you can't acquit. I don't know if that shit's true. Did O.J. kill that shit? I don't know, okay? I don't know. It's not really my thing.
Did OJ kill that shit? I don't know.
If you want to make $10 million and you put your focus there on making that happen all the time, your energy will eventually follow and push you in that direction, and you'll have no choice to make $10 million. I mean, you're really fucking badass. You're not even at metacognition. You're at like metacognition. You're like watching how you're watching your thoughts, and then you're just like, boom, you're just fucking ridiculous.
Jason embodies masculine energy more than all these other guys.
Taking action, I'm betting on myself, I'm fucking evolving, getting all the things I want and sharing that self-love freely with the wonderful world. I'm done here today. I'm Jason Capital. You're a great looking man. Not envious of you, but I'm very happy for you. See you later, dude. Peace!
I think we should all strive to be more like Jason. That's the lesson here. If you want to be a masculine energy man, just be more like Jason. Bye.
It doesn't matter what comes, fresh goes better in life. With Mentos fresh and full of life, nothing gets to you. Staying fresh, staying cool. With Mentos fresh and full of life, fresh goes better. Mentos fresh, fresh goes better with Mentos. I'm losing my mind.
Mentos, the fresh maker.